Hi, thank you for joining me. This is Determination by Jason Gray. 7/11/2026, 6026 Analusis, 9:15 GMT -6, #Winnipeg, #Manitoba, #Canada. The force that refuses to surrender. Sooner or later, every person who dares to pursue something extraordinary reaches the place where only determination remains. Intelligence reaches its limit. Luck eventually disappears. Resources run out. Support fades. The applause grows quiet. The excitement that once fueled the journey slowly evaporates. What remains standing after everything else is left is determination. Determination is not an emotion. It is not enthusiasm. It is not confidence. It is not optimism. Those things are valuable, but they are temporary. They arrive and depart like the weather. Determination is something altogether different. It is a decision. It is the quiet declaration that regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the setbacks, regardless of the disappointments, you are going to continue placing one foot in front of the other. Again and again and again. Long after everyone else has decided the journey is impossible. Most people misunderstand success because they only witness the victories. They see the summit. They admire the trophy. They applaud the achievement. They rarely see the years spent climbing invisible mountains that nobody else even knew existed. They never witness the mornings when quitting seemed perfectly reasonable. They never feel the weight of rejection after rejection. They never count the sleepless nights filled with uncertainty. They never see the private conversations someone has with themselves while wondering if every sacrifice has been in vain. Success hides its construction. Failure displays itself publicly. That is why determination is so often overlooked. Every obstacle presents the same question: will this stop you? Roadblocks are not merely barriers, they are examinations. They reveal whether your desire is genuine or merely convenient. Anyone can continue when the road is smooth. Anyone can remain committed while progress comes easily. Anyone can believe in themselves when life continually rewards their efforts. The storms reveal the architecture of conviction. Pressure exposes the foundations. Difficulty removes illusion. The obstacle does not create character. It reveals the character that was already there. History has never belonged exclusively to the most gifted. It belongs to those who refuse to disappear. The inventor whose 100th prototype finally worked. The scientist whose research was mocked before it transformed the world. The writer rejected countless times before anyone recognized what they were truly looking at. The entrepreneur who endured bankruptcy before building an empire. The parent who kept showing up every day despite exhaustion. The recovering addict who chose sobriety one sunrise at a time. The patient fighting illness with courage, even when the prognosis seemed impossible. Their victories were never built upon uninterrupted success. They were built upon uninterrupted determination. Life has an extraordinary ability to place obstacles precisely where they are least convenient. There will be seasons when your finances collapse, relationships end, your health deteriorates, your confidence vanishes. The people you expected to stand beside you quietly disappear. Some will doubt you openly. Others will simply stop believing. The silence of abandonment can become louder than the criticism itself. Determination asks only one question: will you continue? Not because the outcome is guaranteed, not because the odds are favorable, not because recognition is waiting at the finish line, simply because your purpose remains worthy. Purpose gives birth to determination. Without purpose, determination eventually exhausts itself. When your why is weak, every obstacle feels overwhelming. When your why is unshakable, obstacles become temporary inconveniences instead of permanent endings. This is why two people can experience the exact same hardship and arrive at completely different destinations. One interprets resistance as a sign to stop. The other interprets resistance as proof that the journey matters. The road does not change. The traveler does. There is an ancient illusion that life becomes easier for those who persist. It does not. In many ways, greater responsibility creates greater challenges. The mountains become taller. The decisions become heavier. The consequences become larger. What changes is not the difficulty. What changes is the person carrying it. Strength is rarely granted before the burden. It is forged beneath it. Every disappointment quietly expands your capacity. Every failure teaches something success never could. Every obstacle becomes another layer of resilience added to your foundation. Eventually, you stop fearing hardship because you recognize it as familiar terrain. You begin trusting yourself more than your circumstances. You understand that conditions are temporary, but character has the potential to become permanent. Determination also demands patience. Modern culture celebrates speed. Modern culture celebrates speed, instant gratification, immediate results, viral success, overnight transformations. Nature has never stopped operating that way. Nature has never operated that way. The mightiest oak spends decades becoming what a weed attempts in weeks. Mountains are carved by countless drops of water. Canyons are shaped by persistence rather than force. Stars themselves are born through unimaginable pressure sustained over extraordinary periods of time. The greatest achievements in human history have almost always required far more time than anyone originally expected. The person who refuses to abandon the process eventually arrives where those seeking shortcuts never reach. There is another truth that deserves far more attention. Determination is contagious. When one individual refuses to quit, others begin questioning the limits they have accepted for themselves. Courage spreads, hope spreads, perseverance spreads. Every determined life silently gives permission for another to continue fighting their own unseen battle. You may never know whose future is altered simply because you refuse to surrender today. That is the hidden legacy of determination. Its influence extends far beyond the individual who possesses it. The greatest misconception is believing determination means never becoming discouraged. Nothing could be further from reality. The determined become tired. They become frustrated. They become afraid. They experience doubt. They cry. They fail, sometimes repeatedly. The difference is not the absence of struggle. The difference is the refusal to allow struggle to write the final chapter. Every sunrise offers the same invitation: begin again. Not because yesterday was easy, not because tomorrow is certain, but because your story is still being written. Every step forward, however small, is still movement. Every lesson learned from failure is still progress. Every refusal to surrender is another declaration that your future will not be dictated solely by your present circumstances. The world celebrates dramatic moments. Determination lives inside ordinary ones. The alarm clock that rings before dawn. The extra page written after everyone else has gone to sleep. The difficult conversation. The courageous apology. The decision to exercise one more day. The commitment to remain sober for one more hour. The willingness to stand back up after another painful fall. These moments rarely become headlines. They quietly construct extraordinary lives. In the end, determination is not about defeating every obstacle. It is about refusing to allow any obstacle to defeat you. Roadblocks will always exist. Some will delay you. Some will redirect you. Some will humble you. Some will wound you. None possess the authority to define your destination until you surrender that authority yourself. The strongest people are rarely those who never stumbled. They are those who simply decided that every fall would become another reason to rise. Determination is not measured by how many times life knocks you down. It is measured by how many times you choose to stand back up. And sometimes standing back up one more time changes everything. Jason Gray. This one is so tremendously inspiring. It hit me deeply, and it's one that I think I just want to print it and just have it on my wall so I can see it every day. I think it's that and insightful and inspiring, and it's something that we can all relate to. We all have a dream. We all have days when we want to quit. But, one insightful thing at a time to just keep going, I think is what hopefully keeps us going. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.